I never thought this would be my story, but here we are. It all started a few months ago when my wife, Sarah, began acting a bit strange. She was more secretive with her phone, and there were late nights out with friends that seemed a bit too frequent for my liking. One night, I decided to dig a little deeper. I didn't want to believe the worst, but my gut was screaming at me. I waited until she went to bed, then went through her texts. My heart sank when I saw a conversation with a guy named Jake. The messages were flirty and intimate, filled with inside jokes and heart emojis. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. I confronted her the next day. She denied everything at first, insisting Jake was just a good friend from work. But I couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more. After a few days of tension, I decided to follow her one night when she said she was going out with the girls. I trailed her to a small, upscale restaurant and nearly lost my mind when I saw her walk in with Jake. They were laughing, sharing a bottle of wine, and leaning into each other like they were the only two people in the world. It felt like my entire life was crumbling around me. After an hour, I couldn't take it anymore. I stormed into the restaurant, heart pounding, ready to confront them both. But as I approached their table, I heard something that stopped me in my tracks. Jake leaned in and whispered, "You know, I can't wait for this weekend. Just a few more weeks until it's all official." My blood ran cold. Official? What the hell did that mean? I quickly backed away, heart racing, and rushed home to think. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, so I decided to gather more information. Over the next week, I did some digging and discovered that Jake wasn't just a coworker, he was also married, and his wife was pregnant. The whole thing felt like a twisted soap opera. After piecing everything together, I decided to confront Sarah again. This time, I was armed with proof. I laid it all out, the texts, the dinner, the affair. The look on her face was one of shock and horror, but also a hint of relief, as if the weight of the secret was finally lifted. She confessed everything, including that they had been planning to run away together. My heart shattered as she told me about their dreams of a life together, how she felt alive around him. But the worst part? She never intended to tell me, thinking I would just figure it out eventually. After hours of tears and anger, we came to a breaking point. I told her she had a choice: fight for our marriage or leave with him. To my surprise, she chose to fight. We agreed to go to therapy and see if there was any way to salvage our relationship. It's been a long, painful journey since then, filled with sleepless nights and deep conversations. There are days when I feel angry, days when I feel betrayed, and days when I see glimpses of the woman I fell in love with. Slowly, we're rebuilding trust, but it's far from easy. This experience has changed me forever, but it also taught me the value of communication and honesty in a relationship. We're not out of the woods yet, but I'm committed to making it work, even if it's just one day at a time. Life is complicated, and sometimes the people we love the most can surprise us in the worst ways.